Welcome to another episode of Drag, where we dive into the murky water of the global power and try to fish out some truth. Today we're talking about the three most influential companies in the world, or so they like you to believe. Buckle up, because this topic is a magnet for conspiracy nuts, and honestly, who can blame them? When a handful of companies control mind-blogging amounts of cash, it's only natural for people to start spinning tiles of shadowy cobbles. You know the usual, evil masterminds plotting to enslave humanity, turn themselves into superhumans, wipe out half the population with engineered pandemic or worse, and street civilization to Sweden wins. Sounds like a blockbuster movie, right? But let's cut through the tinfoil hat nonsense and stick to facts and sprinkle of common sense, because apparently that's a rare commodity these days. The stars of our show are the so-called Big Three, or as some dramatically call them, the trio that owns America. Meet State Street, Vanguard and BlackRock investment giants with wallets so fat they make billionaires look like they're scraping by. So, what's an investment company? In simple terms, it's a fancy middleman that takes your money, invests it cleverly, and hopefully makes it grow. The cash comes from clients, think rich folks, banks, or even governments with spare change burning a hole in their pockets. Say you've got a cool 50 million lying around, as one does. You want it to grow, but the stock market is a jungle, starting a business is terrifying, and figuring it all out is just too much work. So you handle your money to these pros, and they handle the heavy lifting. These investment behemoths are ridiculously good at this game. While regular Joes buy Apple or Tesla stock, pray for a 30% or dream big 100% return and cash out, these companies play a different sport. Sure, they could chase these juicy short-term gains if a client backs, but their real magic trick is a passive investing. Forget doubling or tripling your money in a wild bet. Their strategy is to make your capital grow forever, like some financial immortality potion. The growth might be modest, no get rich quick schemes here, but it's steady, practically bulletproof and built for the long haul. The plan? Simple. Throw money at every major company worldwide and just hold. As long as the world keeps spinning, people keep buying stuff, and economies keep chugging along. These companies grow, and the big three get richer. If one company tanks or goes bankrupt, no biggie, they've got hundreds more in their portfolio. You'd only lose if civilization itself collapses, but at that point, who needs money anyway? But here's where it gets spicy. If they're mostly buying and not selling, how do they make the billions? Easy, commissions. They charge a teeny percentage for managing your assets. Think 0.3% or 0.5% a year. Sounds like pocket change, right? Wrong. When you're managing BlackRock's $11 trillion, yes, trillion, with T, more than GDP of every country except the US and China, that 0.5 adds up to a cool 5.5 billion a year. And that's just BlackRock. Throw in some consulting gigs, analytics, and other side hustles, and you've got a money printing machine. State Street's sitting on about 4 trillion, Vanguard around 8 trillion. Add it up, and the big three control over $25 trillion, roughly a quarter of all the money in the world, estimated at 100 trillion. Let that sink in. Three private companies have their fingers on a fourth of the planet's cash. Not suspicious at all, right? Now here's a question that will make your eyebrows shoot up. Are these three companies really separate, competing for the same pie, or are they secretly holding hands under the table? Spoiler alert, it's the latter. The largest shareholders of BlackRock? Yup, State Street and Vanguard. Vanguard's biggest owners? State Street and BlackRock. And State Street? You guessed it. BlackRock and Vanguard. It's a corporate love triangle so beautiful tangled you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. It's almost like they're one giant company with three nameplates to keep us from asking too many questions. Cozy, isn't it? Keep this little detail in your back pocket. It's going to matter later. We've established these guys have a ridiculous amount of money, 25 trillion to be exact. Impressive, but a bit abstract. Let's get concrete. In the investment world, there is this thing called a stock index, like the S&P 500, which tracks the 500 biggest US companies by market value. It's a snapshot of America's economy and, by extension, the world's. The Big Three were major shareholders in 88% of the companies in the S&P 500 and have some stake in every single one. Tesla, Nike, Boeing, energy, cosmetics, food, finance, you name it. They're there. In the most cases, State Street, Vanguard or BlackRock are among the top 3 shareholders. And it's not just America, they've got their tentacles in every major market worldwide. What does owning a chunk of a company get you? Power, darling. Even a 5-10 stake is massive. Take Vanguard, 7% of Google. If they dumped it all at once, it would take a market panic, tanking the stock for beyond that 7%. More importantly, these shares comes with voting rights on this board of directors. We're talking big decisions, CEO salaries, dividend payouts, mergers, audits, strategic plans, even eco policies. The Big Three typically hold 10-30% of a company's shares, which doesn't give them total control, but let's be real, it's a lot of influence. And this isn't just one company, it's hundreds of the world's biggest players. Smell like power, doesn't it? You'd think this will be the story of the century, 3 companies controlling a quarter of the world's money and holding sway over every major corporation? That's the prime time documentary material. Journalists should be tripping over themselves to expose this, raking up millions of views. Yet, it's crickets on mainstream media. Sure, niche bloggers and wonky economists in obscure journals chatter about it, but the general public, clueless. Why? Well, here's not so shocking twist. The Big Three are major shareholders in the 4 companies that control over 80% of the US media market. Coincidence? I'm not saying they're sending goons to silence reporters. But let's just say it's convenient that the folks who own the news aren't exactly eager to spill the tea on themselves. Let's turn off the spooky music for a second. Is the Big Three some diabolical force hell-bent on world domination? Nah, they're just doing what businesses do, making money. Power comes with the territory when you're swimming in trillions. Their goal? Keep their clients, tools, banks, governments and tycoons happy by growing their wealth. If profit tank or risk skyrocket, clients will bolt and proof goes the power. Can we say they own everything? No. These trillions belong to their clients, not them. Investors can pull their money anytime, so the Big Three are more likely glorified babysitters than evil emperors. But here's the kicker. Control? Oh, they've got that in spades. Those boardroom votes gives them a say in how the world's biggest companies operate. Take Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, who's apparently on speed dial with the world leaders and was consulted by the Federal Reserve during the 2008 crisis. Just a humble money manager, right? Then, where is the information advantage? Sitting on the boards of every major company gives them a front row seat to everything. Data no one else even dream of. Individual companies know their own game and maybe their competitors. The Big Three? They know everyone's game. That's a god-level view of the market, opening doors to businesses moves we mere mortals can't even fathom. And the last thing, in the world of big money, everyone's chummy. The people handling these fortunas or even just orbiting them are a tight-knit club. Friends, partners, sometimes literal family. It's a cozy little elite, and if you're a die-hard Marxist, you'd probably call it the ruling capitalist class. Hate to admit it, but you wouldn't be entirely wrong. So, there you have it, your friendly neighborhood investment giants quietly pulling strings while the world obsessed over the latest celebrity scandal. That's all. This is Drag, just a drag, not a drug dealer. I want a like and subscribe, not your money.